Hello, welcome back to Real Talk with me, Trish Adudu. It's been very lively today. We've got comedian Ava Vidal, we've got political and GP spokesman Bob Gill, and Winston McKenzie from UKIP, the Commonwealth spokesperson for UKIP, Winston McKenzie. They're in Real Talk. Hello. It has been lively. Everyone's kissed and made up during the break. They still have strong opinions. We'd like to hear from you as well. It has freedom of speech. Is it all over now with those awful killings in France? Are there certain jokes? Are there certain things we shouldn't joke about, such as religion? 0207 819 6460. Let's go to Southampton. We've got Bruce on the line. Hello, Bruce.
Hello there. Hello to the show.
Hello. Your opinion, please. Thanks for calling the show.
Okay, my opinion is, first of all, I'm Jamaican, I'm black. I do agree with Winston. The only thing I wish he would do is keep quiet and listen to the other commentators. I do agree with him because every time Nigel Farage opens his mouth, that everyone points the finger at him and says he's racist. I don't think he's racist. I think it's just expression of a view and an opinion that is shared by lots of people, whether you're black, white, or indifferent. I work with a lot of the Indian community, and believe it or not, we all share the same view. So that, you know, you've got people who are extreme, and you've got to try and tackle those extremes.
I didn't quite hear that. Could you repeat that, Bruce?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, which part didn't you hear, sorry? Just
repeat. You agree with what part of Nigel Farage's comments?
Well, whatever he says, the media always picks up on people and tries to demonise him as if he's racist. I think he's only expressing a view that's on people's tongue. Multiculturalism, in my opinion, also, I don't think is working.
OK. Thank you, Bruce. So, do you agree with Bruce? Is Nigel Farage right? He said that the shootings in France have raised the issue of the gross policy of multiculturalism. He referred to a fifth column, undercurrent of society that isn't working, and that we shouldn't have encouraged division within society. Is he right, or is he a racist? Winston, you call him the governor. You look up to him. He's your leader.
Every time the governor opens his mouth, look, I'm considered myself as a black man as a racist. How can I be racist? I'm black, proud, and I shout very loud and go for the things that I know I should be going for and involved in. Everything that's attributed to UKIP, we have to open our mouths. I've got two protagonists here sitting next to me, and everything I say is wrong because I'm UKIP. Had I been not involved in the party, they would accept whatever I say. But
Winston, there have been people... Winston, there have been people expelled from UKIP for being obviously racist.
Those are the infiltrators, Trish. Oh. We have infiltrators in the party. They're sent over from Labour. They pretend they're this easygoing lot, get in, and then suddenly they come out with, oh, UKIP are racist, when they can't get... I want to meet Nigel Farage. Come on,
are you going to be voting UKIP? Let us know, 0207 819 6460. We're going to be looking at all the parties in the next couple of weeks. You're standing, aren't you, Bob Gill? Tell us about your party.
Our party was formed because the three main political parties, unfortunately, are trying to take the NHS into a US-style private insurance system. None of them want to admit this, but they were doing it very covertly, and it's actually been happening over 20 years. So the people who formed our party were health professionals who could see what was happening and were disgusted by mainstream media not informing the public. So this is one of the biggest untold stories in this country. And we're sidetracked by other issues on immigration and this and that. There's a lot of scapegoating going on. But the major issue that's galvanised us into action is what's going on into the health service.
Right.
And it's very complex, it's concealed, and the end game is not being spelt out to people, except when, by accident, Nigel Farage admitted in 2012 on camera that we want to go to a US-style insurance system.
Well, let's ease off Nigel Farage, because he's not here, and he's not here to defend himself. But let's go to the phone lines. You're calling Real Talk. Hello, your name, please.
Hi, my name is Mick Dadversi.
Oh, hello, Mick.
Livingston Council from Britain.
Oh, thank you very much for calling Real Talk. What's your comment, particularly about the multiculturalism and the comment that was made, and, of course, what's happening over in France?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the chance to hear about the multiculturalism comment.
OK, what's your reaction? We'll tell you about that in a minute. What's your reaction to the killings over in Paris?
Of course, what we have to do is, you know, our thoughts and prayers are with those who have been killed so badly there in France. And we have to really spend this time to think and care about those who have been affected by this brutal attack.
And what,
it's important.
OK. And in terms of how Muslims are reacting, we know it's a small minority, and it's awful that, you know, whenever this happens, we kind of look to a response from the Muslim Council and the Muslim representatives. But do you think that there's been a complete overreaction to freedom of speech?
So, of course, when it comes to the Muslim community, I think there's universal condemnation of the attacks that have happened. You know, everybody's agreed that however offended one might be about what someone does, the reaction and the right way to deal with it is through the democratic means. I mean, this is taught from the Quran, the Prophet, throughout the companions' time. The same idea comes through. And the Muslim community is united in this way of thinking.
OK. And in terms of Nigel Farage, he's come out to say, basically, that multiculturalism isn't working. Do you agree with him?
I think it's very important not to overreact when specific incidents take place. I mean, when Anders Breivik was in Norway and killed tens of people, and a lot of things that he talked about were to do with this idea of the Muslims taking over. Does that mean that the entirety of the far-right community needs to be looked in that way? No, we have to look very carefully. We have to be open and realise that there are people who commit criminal, brutal acts, and they need to be treated accordingly. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mihad Versi, from the Assistant Secretary of the Muslim Council of Britain. Thank you very much. And I must say as well, a lot of you are reacting to the comments that were made earlier on Real Talk. You won't be voting for UKIP, Ava?
No, why would I? Because, I mean, UKIP, the party, I mean, there's so many of them that actually believe that even if you are born in this country and you have my colour skin, they would actually encourage you to be repatriated. To where? Where am I supposed to go? I am half Belgian, I'm half Dominican. Am I supposed to split myself in two?
Where did you hear that?
Sorry.
Where did you hear that?
I think it's quite interesting, Winston, that you somehow don't seem to understand what a lot of people in your party say. You don't seem to understand that a lot of people in your party do say racist things. You accuse them of being infiltrators. Just this morning, a member of your party had said something about not trusting Negroes' faces. You have a member of your party who wanted Muslims to sign a charter to say that they won't commit any violence. You had a member of your party who said that we should stop sending aid to Bongo land. You have people like...
Oh, this is nonsense.
No, it's not.
Objection.
This is the problem. You have your leader today.
You've had a long start.
Objection.
Let Winston quickly, because we need to move on to other topics.
Kind of fairy rhetoric that people keep coming out with. Yes, there are a few rogues in every party. I've got a whole list here of fraudsters, thieves, child molesters, all coming from all the other parties, the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, Liberal Democrats, right? All, you know, nobody reports on them, and they're all here.
Okay.
It's all documented on the
Thank you.
internet.
We're definitely not going to read out those names.
Come on,
okay.
we've got them all here.
Thank you. Let's keep that list. Let's keep that list. Let's keep that list.
I'll give you a full list.
Bob Gill, it's a very important time now. 4 months until the general election. You're standing as an independent. It's going to be pretty difficult, isn't it, to get a word in edgeways when all these main parties, especially UKIP, are getting a lot of attention?
Well, again, the mainstream parties and UKIP do not want serious issues to discuss, so they'll focus on immigration, they'll focus on relatively minor things, because they want the people at the bottom to be divided and fight amongst themselves. This is the political strategy. The multi-millionaires that back UKIP and the Tory party, they'd be quite happy for us to fight amongst ourselves while we keep our eye off what they're up to in the City of London and in the banks. You've had whole-scale, systematic corruption within the financial sector, yet hardly anybody has been prosecuted.
Yes.
Nigel Farage is heavily... He worked in banks, I think. He's got a history in the financial institution.
The downfall of this country isn't about Nigel Farage.
He never says anything
about the so-called three main parties.
I didn't interrupt you, did I?
Yes. OK,
he never says anything about the whole-scale corruption in the City of London, the whole-scale tax avoidance, and we're focusing on immigration and Muslim and Islamophobia. This is a distraction distraction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's focus on what you had to say. We went out on the streets to find out what do you think about UKIP? What's your feelings? And here's what you had to say.
It seems to me like there's a trend towards a strange sort of nationalism that sort of excludes everybody else. And I think UKIP represents that sort of strain.
Fascist, basically, for their points of view on Middle Eastern, Eastern European immigrants who want to come to this country.
The definition of fascism, is different to what, a particular person will say. So, in what sense are they fascist?
I don't think we need parties like UKIP in the UK, because we need to have a better political system and a fairer political system that everyone agrees with.
I think they're anti-British in what I believe Britain is. I'd say they were fascist, yeah. I don't think they reflect the true views of the British public. I think they perpetuate those feelings. I think they create hatred rather than represent people.
I guess the people who vote for UKIP would describe themselves as pro-British. I don't think they're fascist, but I think, they're probably edging on that extreme right.
I think they're quite reactionary. I think they play on people's fears. I think they're probably borderline racist.
I don't know if we necessarily need more parties like UKIP itself, but I certainly think we need more political parties that are gaining popularity and challenging the bigger parties.
You get one person that has these sort of views and put it under the umbrella of protecting Britain and Britain's interests, but there's underlines of racism, and you see the different political members, party members from that party, and they all come out with some nonsense.
So you were shaking your head. Ava was nodding. Bob Gill was nodding. Yeah. You were shaking your head.
You know the problem in society.
You play on fear.
No. Right.
That's what the people
but
say.
They're saying that. But because we're in a position now that's a situation in this country that is unprecedented. It's the political parties in this country, particularly the so-called three main parties, are in an unprecedented situation whereby so much. Dr. Martin Luther King once said, 1963, too much analysis, Trish, breeds paralysis. We are in a state of paralysis.
Winston, you seem to be in a state of absolute, complete denial. Those are people that we saw on the street, and they're saying what they think UKIP is about.
A few people,
here and there.
I can stop. I go out and I campaign all over the country, and you stop. People stop.
Are a lot of black people voting UKIP?
Look, we've made a massive...
I'm asking you a simple question.
Yes.
Where are they?
We've moved... I stood in the by-election in Croydon North when Steve Reid got in, almost 4 years ago now, and it was amazing to see how many people voted for UKIP. It was a real trend. Okay. You can see exactly what happened. If you see exactly what happened in the European elections, are you going to call 30% of the British public illiterate and foolish because they're voting UKIP?
I'll make this point now because I can't take any more of this. Basically, what people need to understand is there's a massive disparity between what UKIP voters believe and what is actually happening. And so you have to ask yourself why that is.
Yeah, is Bob right? Are we being distracted from the main topics, which are NHS, which are jobs?
Yeah, come on, let's get on with the real things.
But when it comes to the topic of immigration, which UKIP seem to focus on. Excuse me, I'm speaking. My name is Ava. I'm speaking. Stop it, please.
Why do we have to go?
Because that is the issue that UKIP tend to push. And basically,
the media.
Okay, can I just ask you, actually, what percentage of Britain are actually immigrants? What percentage?
Well, we're at a disparity with regards. I'm disparaged with regards to the figures they continually come up with. It's disparaging. The figures they keep coming up. The figures they keep coming up with. And you're, like, to me, a part of the media. You're a part of the lefty side.
Trish, can I make the point that I was actually trying to make?
The lefty side continually try to put people down.
Thank you, Winston. We've had a lot of people tweet us. A lot of people are saying what they think about UKIP UKIP. It's not, I have to say, it's not very complimentary what they think UKIP is about. And a lot of people are saying freedom of speech. And we had some tweets, let's moving it back to what the events over in Paris on Wednesday. Here are some celebrity tweets. Donald Trump, my condolences and prayers to the victims of the terrorist attack in Paris. Here are Elijah Wood, the actor, my thoughts are with the victims and their families in Paris. Nicki Minaj, sorry to hear about this.
Yes,
a lot of demonstrators are obviously making their points now. And the reason why UKIP are into it, because today Nigel Farage has come out to say that the events in Paris raise questions of the gross policy of multiculturalism. That's why Nigel Farage is the main topic of today's Real Talk. Nick Clegg, the Deputy Prime Minister, has condemned him and said it was absolutely awful. He agreed, you know, he echoed what Bob Gill said, which is not the right time to be talking about this on the back of such a massacre.
That's why his party's in meltdown. Complete meltdown.
Okay. Well, listen, we need to go to a break before Winston has complete meltdown. You're watching Real Talk. Plenty more to come. Are you happy with your NHS? Are you happy with your doctor? When's the last time you made a doctor's appointment and got it the very next day? You're watching Real Talk.